Hello and welcome to yourlocalnote.com. We've got another featured podcast. We will be speaking with the guys from Funky Tea. They'll be joining us in just a couple minutes, but just want to remind you that we are streaming 24/7. We've got free apps. You can download them. All you have to do is go to the respective stores and type in YLN, download it, and it's all there for you. You can check out the site and bring it with you and bring all that great music, all that great local music that we have here on yourlocalnote.com. Also, if you want to get in touch with us, so you can receive the newsletter that we publish every week, just go to contact@yourlocalnote.com. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/yourlocalnote, and then also facebook.com/yourlocalnote. In just a couple minutes, we'll be talking with Funky Tea, but we're going to start everything off with Desire to Inspire on yourlocalnote.com.
Let the funk rip through your soul, it'll make you lose control. Let the swing move your feet, it will make your life complete. I've got the desire to inspire. I want to show the world what I feel. A desire to inspire everyone that feels the music. Let the music move you. It'll move you, it's gonna move you to the sound of your soul. Get down and let the music move you to the sounds that soothe. While you let the music move you to find the sounds of truth. I've got the desire to inspire. I wanna show the world what I feel. A desire to inspire everyone that feels the music. Let the music move you. It'll move you, it's gonna move you to the sounds of your soul. Let the music move you. It's gonna move you to the sound of your soul.
The song is called Desire to Inspire. The band is Funky Tea. Guys, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
All right, well, let's go right down the list here. Who you are, what you do with the band, and let's not forget the one person that's not here. We'll give him a shout out too.
We will.
Yeah,
Start with you, Josh.
I'm Josh. I'm actually the pianist in the group, and I actually met these guys not too long ago, but our chemistry is so awesome.
Okay, we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Got next.
I'm Ethan Kane. I'm the lead singer and lead guitarist, one of the founding members of the group.
Founding members. My name's Eric Cooper. I play the bass, and I am, I guess, the other founding member.
All right.
And
go ahead.
He's not with us at the moment, but Matt Carlin is our drummer / backup vocalist / guitarist.
Yeah.
He does play
Started
guitar.
off as a guitarist.
Okay.
Drummer now.
And then switch to drums. Okay, very cool. Let's go through the history of the band. How'd you guys get together?
Me and Ethan went to high school together, so that's where we met, and we've been playing music together since high school. We both played in separate bands, but our bands were always jamming together, stuff like that.
Okay.
And
A couple years ago, I moved to Miami to go to school for audio production, and when I moved back, I had been talking to him about getting together, start up playing some music again. We just got the band together, started playing as many shows as we could, got our first show, and the first month we got together and scrambled to find a drummer and just kind of put something together, and that went pretty well for a while.
All right. So when did Matt join the band?
Probably
before Ethan moved to Miami, actually, me, Ethan, and Matt played in a band with a different singer.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little more R&B influenced, I guess.
Okay.
And then Ethan moved to Miami, so that kind of put on hold. And then when he came back, me, him, and Matt, we got back together. We still play some of those songs.
Yeah, we started recording together again, and then I just wanted to get him in the band playing rhythm guitar and lead guitar too. We just both play together. Eventually, drummer left the band, so he happened to be better than the original drummer drums, so he went on drums. Eventually, hoping we get a drummer, get him back on guitar, but he's loving playing drums now. He doesn't want to switch.
Okay.
And then we met Josh last November.
This is a fun
Yeah, around
story.
last November, I actually met Ethan's mom first, working for the Obama campaign.
Okay.
And Ethan's mom, she was like really cool, down to earth, and she was like, "Oh yeah, my son plays guitar." So I finally met them at a
Victory
pub,
party.
at the victory party, and the night that I met them, we went down. I went down with them they had a show that night, so I just went with them, hopped on stage, and just played the songs with them the very first night.
Really? So it was like
I wrote the chord changes for him on the back of a receipt.
Yeah.
And
It was
it
awesome.
sounded great. We were just like, hey man, like, why don't you come to band practice? He played with us a little. I was like, hey man, you want to be in the band?
Oh yeah, and then
just worked out.
Yeah, it worked out perfect.
Wow, very nice. Auditioning while just jamming.
Right.
Yeah, it was
pretty,
great.
yeah.
Very cool. All right, let's go back to the first song that we just played, Desire to Inspire. Who wrote that and what is that about?
I wrote that.
Cooper wrote
That was
it.
Coop who said that.
Okay.
In the third person.
Yeah.
I wrote that probably a few months. Actually, I don't know, it took me a while to write it. I started writing it probably almost a year before we actually started this band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the music started.
The music,
probably back in,
yeah.
like, 2010.
Yeah. We actually started writing the music together a while back. Then I slowly started coming up with the lyrics for it.
Okay.
And I was playing in a band, like a more of a very jazz influenced band.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought this to them and they weren't too into it.
They weren't
and then
feeling it.
I stopped playing with them.
I quit.
I quit. You guys don't like me. No,
Take your ball and go home.
screw you guys. I'm going home. But,
It was one of the first songs we started playing together. I had released an EP when I was living in Miami.
Okay.
So when I moved back, we started playing some of those songs. Song you'll eventually hear, "It's All Good." Was
Right.
One of the songs from there. So we started playing some of them, and he was like, "Hey, remember this song we used to jam on?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "I got it all structured. Like, here's a page full of lyrics." So we just kind of like pieced the parts together, made it right.
Okay. Is the writing process, has it been basically you two doing most of the writing?
Ethan has a lot of songs that like fully structured songs that he'll bring to us, and then we'll all kind of put our own thing to it.
Mhm.
I do the same thing. I do more. I like to leave it more open.
Right.
So that when we do write it, it's nothing set in stone. So when everyone has like their own piece to it.
Yeah,
and
he's
then
like-
Matt actually writes some songs for us too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of songs that he's had from before that we've played, and songs that I've had from before, and just
And now we're writing a lot of new stuff.
yeah,
like
we really
jamming.
we write now by just like completely freestyle jamming.
Sure.
At band practice, we just come up with stuff. I'll just mumble some words, and then it'll sound
Then
right.
we'll go from there. So, Josh, how difficult is it for you approaching these guys? Because these guys have known each other a long time.
Right.
So they probably understand where they want to go with some songs or certain aspects of a song just because they know each other. How difficult is it for you to approach them and say, well, what about this? I hear this or I think this.
Actually, it's pretty easy, seeing as though, ironically, our taste in music is almost identical.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a really, really good understanding of each other. I mean, like, it's like when we met, it was like fate. It was like, yeah, you guys are supposed to be together. So, I mean, like, when we go to band practice and the whole writing process, you know, like, we'll just sit around and, like Ethan said, he'll mumble some words. And, like, I'll come up with some stuff, and, like, Cooper's right on it behind me with the bass, and it just comes together so perfectly almost all the time.
And he says, like, our tastes in music are identical. It's because we really like everything.
Right.
We like every
and really like what we're
music.
I don't even mostly influenced by is like completely different too. And
Yeah.
range from
We were gonna just, since you mentioned that, we'll seg into that.
Right.
Your influences. So, growing up, we'll start with Coop. Growing up, what did you listen to, and how did you progress from there?
I think the biggest influence on me is probably Victor Wooten, bass player.
Okay.
He's incredible. Me and Ethan saw him play at the TLA when we were seniors in high school. I've seen a lot of concerts. That was the best concert I've ever seen. It was insane. But him and Red Hot Chili Peppers, huge influence on me. Pink Floyd, I listen to a lot.
Okay.
Like 3 of my favorites.
Okay.
And then also a lot of stuff like Fish, Disco Biscuits, and Lotus jam bands. It's
Okay.
big
Ethan?
influence.
I mean, growing up, I listened to a lot of like Motown and R&B. Both my parents are musicians.
Okay.
My dad's a jazz saxophone.
So that was a heavy influence from ever since you can remember.
Yeah. And then it was like growing up when I started getting into like playing guitar. Like me and Cooper really into the Chili Peppers. And
Blood
like,
Sugar Sex Magic is the best album ever.
Okay.
But
There it is.
so that was like our big thing in high school when we play music together. Chili Peppers was great. But I mean, since then we've really gotten into like a lot of funk. So the jam bands are a big influence on the band now, definitely just with what we do at practice.
Especially with our shows now, too.
And just, I mean, Stevie Wonder and any like kind of P-funk.
Sure.
The old 70s funk and stuff like that is really like huge on us now.
Josh?
Yeah,
Becomes a complete
this is complete 180. All right, growing up, my influence, first of all, my parents, they definitely listened to a lot of Ethan's from Motown, Earth, Wind, and Fire, all that stuff. But as I started growing up and started getting into my own thing and started listening to the more music, my music career actually started off, I wanted to make video game music.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wish I could find, I had a lot of old compositions, just like these random video game songs I would put to video games my brother would make. And then I slowly got into Korean pop and J-pop.
Really?
Yeah.
Korean pop?
Yes.
How do you do that?
I have no. It was by accident. Me and my brother were watching TV, and we saw a Korean drama. I was like, "Oh, it's the best show ever!" And then after the Korean drama, it was Korean pop. Like, "Oh, it's the best music ever."
Do you speak Korean, or is it just reading all the subtitles?
No, I can speak I can read Korean better than I can
A
speak.
little backstory, he's a quarter Korean.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
part
you
Korean.
are. I did
Yes,
not
is-
know that.
Thank you
Okay.
for mentioning that, Ethan. Yeah, my dad is
It
half
makes a little
Korean.
more sense when you know that.
It does,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, now that's
exactly.
okay.
My grandma actually lives right around the corner. She's full Korean.
Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, I grew up just listening to a whole bunch of Asian music.
Interesting.
And these guys actually just brought the funk out of me, though.
Nice. I will have to say then, after 2.5 years of interviews, this is a first.
Oh, that's awesome.
We've never had anyone say Asian pop is
Yes,
an
definitely,
influence.
yeah.
So I just figured you'd like to
Definitely said
know
the
that.
Beatles.
Oh, yeah. Beatles.
Every artist.
The
has to think
Beatles.
the
Oh,
Beatles.
yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
I always find that amazing because you're talking now, their songs are, approaching 50 years old.
Yes.
Timeless.
And
crazy.
you would think, when I was younger, songs that were 50 years old, I was not listening to, and would never say, "Oh yeah, let's go jam to that." But listening to the new bands, and almost to a band, to an artist, they say the Beatles are something that they really enjoyed listening to and have a tremendous respect and have an influence. So I find that pretty cool. All right, let's go to song number 2, which is It's All Good. And what we'll do is we'll play the song, and then we'll talk about it when we come back. All right? We're hanging out with Funky T, and the song is called It's All Good on yourlocalnote.com.
Once all the words that can be said have been spoken, and all the songs have all been sung. You get up slow, you make sure nothing's broken, and the ladder the fences are rung. Once all the timelines for truth had expired, there's something sacred you'll find. 'Cause when it's time to be done being tired, the light inside starts to shine. And it's all good, it's okay. You'll find another way, just like you knew you would. And it's all good. The questions and answers are over, and all the pages are turned. There's no slow motion field filled with clover. It's just the lesson you learned, and it's all good. It's alright. Prepare your wings for flight, just like you knew you could. And it's all good. It's all love. Ooh, there will always be enough, and the rest is understood. That it's all good. It's all fine. You leave some things behind, just like you knew you should. And it's all good. It's okay. There'll always be a it's all good. It's okay. There'll always be a way.
That is It's All Good. They are the Funky T, and this is yourlocalnote.com. Now, you mentioned that when you're writing these songs, it's more you're jamming on these songs, and then you put them together, you structure them out. Using It's All Good, tell us what process you took with that song.
Okay, well, like I mentioned earlier, that was on an EP I released while I was living in Miami in 2010. Actually, the way I wrote it is I just kind of came up with the guitar riff, loved it, kind of came up with the chorus line, doesn't really do too much besides that. And my mom and I wrote some lyrics together, always trying to write songs together. We wrote a couple, always wish we wrote more when I had moved to Miami and would always talk about it. So I came home that first Christmas I was there, and we just wrote it in a day and like an hour maybe, and just kind of pieced together, got the right melody. And when I got back to Miami, I recorded it at a little home studio I had, and I put out the EP. But then when I brought it, me and Coop started playing together and we started the band up. It just kind of took on a whole new flavor. I used to really sing it soft. Now I really like put the full funk voice into it. And,
funk voice.
The funk voice.
Right. How has the music changed now that you brought it back
it's just,
up here?
I mean, it's just livened up. Actually, the acoustic version I had a trumpet solo. I got a good friend in Miami, Alex Coombs. He comes, visits us sometimes, and plays with us every time. But now I guess this recording doesn't have the trumpet on it, but it's got a great keyboard solos, keys, bass, the drums. Just, I mean, really liven it up. It's a great, like, have fun, happy dance song. Like, it's really funky.
Now, what percentage of your music have you written with your mother, and besides her, who else are you writing the lyrics with?
We have two songs that I completely wrote the music to, and completely wrote the guitar chords and stuff too. And my mom came with lyrics. That song "It's All Good" and another song called "From the Very First Moment On," which we plan to release at some point.
We're finishing up mixing and recording that one.
Is there a certain process you use for the lyrics, or is it just what comes to you?
It just comes, and sometimes at the time I'll think it doesn't make any sense, and I'll like listen to it later and just be like, wow, it like really, that really actually was probably about this time in my life. I wasn't even thinking about it, but
so
yeah, I don't know.
very
It's just like
open
it
to
just happens. I'll just be sitting in my room playing guitar, and it just like melody pops in my head, words pop in my head right away. Like that's great wordplay. It sounds great, but I mean, I write a lot with Coop too. He'll bring some lyrics. Matt, our drummer, writes a lot too. Like I said, we play a lot of his songs that he'd recorded before the band started. That because we used to record together just back when we went to Monco together.
Right. So do they become, by the end of the process, do they become a entirely collaborative effort, or one person has their own song?
That's really the whole idea. There's some songs that I do something on, like Desire to Inspire. Cooper wrote all the words and the structure of it.
I don't know anything about melody.
But he had the whole structure of it down. So really, I just added the guitar chords over the bass line, and that filled up the song. And it needed organ. Josh added that. It was great. But it's all like sometimes we'll be like, oh I think the drum should sound like this, or the drummer will be like, I think the bass should sound like this, and we'll tell Josh to do something. Josh will tell us to do something. It's just like we listen to each other, and it's never. All our ideas always help each other out. When we record, we always record our parts together.
Where do you record your music?
It's interesting the way we do this. We track the bass, drums.
Yeah, and we get a rough track of and the keys. Yeah,
and the keys at David Ivory's studio.
Yeah,
which is in Bluebell, where Matt works there.
And he's a Grammy-nominated producer. He did the first few Roots albums, has a gold record with Patti LaBelle.
Wow. David Ivory, that is.
Yeah,
right,
David Ivory.
Not Matt.
Matt only has one Grammy. But
well, that's convenient.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's pretty close to where we live too. So it's not a far commute.
Yeah,
So when Dave's not using the studio, we can go in and track, and then we mix and record the guitar and vocals at Ethan's house.
And any overdubs we need to do or anything like that.
And
really, we just try to get the solid drum and bass take, and it turned out that Josh happened to love all the keys that he recorded.
Right.
So
ironically,
But
that's excellent. That's a huge convenience for you guys, because a lot of the problem with recording is obviously the money.
Yeah, and also even if we didn't record there, like I said, I went to Monco, so did Matt, and we took all the recording classes there, did all the digital audio production classes. So really, I mean, we can go back into those studios anytime. Like not that many people use them. And
shout out to Matt Porter.
Yeah,
and
Morgan Betts and Michael Kelly.
Michael Kelly.
So what are your plans for, we're featuring 4 songs in the podcast. What are your plans on releasing music moving forward?
Well, right now, the 3 of those songs are up on our SoundCloud and Reverb Nation page. And the 4th one, We're All Right. We actually, on our way here, not on our way, but just before we left to come here, we finished,
just finished
mixing it. So probably when we leave here tonight, we're going to put that up.
Post it up, and we'll have that on our site too then.
Great.
As soon as you post that, we'll stay on top of that as well.
So, and then we have 2 or 3 more that we're finishing up. So right now they're just up on SoundCloud, and we kind of just burn CDs and give them out to people at shows and stuff.
Accept donations.
We accept donations of all kinds.
Right.
Now, when you send these songs, are you looking for feedback, immediate feedback, or does that influence your writing or your performances?
I mean, we've all been putting out, songs for a while. Like I'll put up, beats I make or songs I'll record, acoustic stuff, since high school. And same with Josh. Him and his brother make music together and always are putting stuff out. Same with Matt. It's just like every time we put out songs, it's just really, we want to see what our friends think. Just try to get it out there, get it to as many people. That's why we don't really sell our CDs. We accept donations. And, it's great. I mean, we love to get some money for it, but really, we want you to have it. We don't want you to be like, you know what, I don't want to pay $3 for 3 songs or, even $1. So just take it.
Yeah, this is, we've been a band for about a year and a half, and this is the first time we're actually putting out recorded music. Like we've had YouTube videos.
Just waiting for the perfect
stuff
time.
Like that.
We're tight enough. And
so at this point, we really just want it out there. We want to get more people to hear it.
So are you seeking feedback during the writing process at all, or is it all you get the finished product with the 4 of you and then you look for it?
A lot of these songs that we recorded, we've been playing live for over a year before we recorded
and
them.
had a lot of videos up.
A lot of video, they've changed definitely over the past year.
Right.
So I think that's by playing them live, getting like that, we get feedback from that before we even think about
And already we've gotten more shows from it, from the recordings, and yeah, that was really hurting us. Because we just didn't really put out anything like rough to reflect that on us, especially like we're all like audio people and we all like...
Yeah,
that's
last
all
thing you
good
want to do
stuff.
is put out a song that sounds just kind of...
So we're just trying to get out like a good amount of songs right now, like you said, like 5 or 6 songs, and just have them out, and then people can listen to them. We're going to re-record all these songs, put them on an album. We have over like 20 songs right now, so we're just trying to, we'll get like the best however many, 12 to 15, 16, however many we want to put on an album and just make a great album. And
15 songs on an album, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, you know what? Maybe we got to change the game. We're changing the game.
It should happen.
All right, this next song we're going to play here, it's called We're All Right. What is that song about?
I actually wrote this. I had ACL reconstruction surgery.
The funky knee.
The Funky Knee. Nice.
Nickname.
I don't know. It's just like I'm used to being like an extremely busy person. I work 7 days a week, and I'm always doing something, trying to play as much as we can. And like after I had that surgery, I was really like limited on everything I could do. Just like wanted to get back to work, wanted to play more shows, and wanted to just run everywhere. And I just kind of couldn't do it. But then like just in my head, it was more like, you know what, it's all right. Like think ahead of the days, like when you're just like in that space, like be happy you got like the surgery done. It's gonna be better. So it's really just like not even just about that, but just like in general, just like. Yeah, everything's going to be all right. You just got to like, work towards it. The day goes by. I kind of structured it throughout a day. Like you wake up until like, the sun rises, goes down. It's just like, it kind of like progresses through that, but it's not about anything in specific. Just like everything.
There's
can be
one line in
right.
the song, my favorite line in the song. It says, the leaves and trees are falling down. That was back when the hurricane happened. And around us, a lot of trees fell down. It was like right around that. And I was reading the lyrics and I was like, even if you didn't mean that, like that has to be
That's what it means
about.
now.
That's what it means.
That built up. I just recorded it at my house, just acoustic guitar. Then he put the bass on it. We did some like bongos and shaker on it. And then Josh played on it. And it was, it was just great.
We
and
never
then
put that out
it in the studio. Yeah. Got some different versions.
Some B-sides there already. Okay, well, let's get
that
to...
actually was made before the A-side.
Let's go to the song. It's called We're All Right, and we're talking with the Funky T on yourlocalnote.com.
Your hat to another day. You get up, turn on a smile and be on your way. Top of the morning, almost gone for the sake of surprise. Another warning, guilt is swarming in a sacred disguise. Come on, yeah, come on. You get out, let go of past events no longer alive, and seek out a brand new beginning that lives to survive. It's afternoon and soon we're calling out to make it okay, and make the room to assume good news and the future's on the way. And say, yeah, it's a widespread concern, yeah, just like anything you've heard. Collective thoughts subside, it's time to realize that everything is alright. Yeah, we're alright. No sunrise, the sun is setting up over the horizon, but still bright, keeping the light that shines inside of our eyes. And I can see for miles, and while I let the troubles erase, yeah, it's a trial and try to stop it as you tribulate and say, yeah, it's a widespread concern, yeah, just like anything you've heard. Collective thoughts subside, it's time to realize that everything is alright. We're alright. Listen close, the most I know it's mostly turning it cold. The wind blows over the coast, I hope it's not what we're told. The leaves and trees are falling down, I cannot breathe anyway. So I sit back, relax, don't worry if it comes that day. And say, hey, it's a widespread concern, yeah, just like
The song is called We're All Right, and the band is the Funky T. I'm RJ, Mike hanging with you on yourlocalnote.com. All right, so you guys do a lot of recording yourselves. All of you have audio background.
Yes.
So are you learning things as you go? You're saying, okay, we did this with this song, but when we finally put it together with the album, we're going to try to change some things. And what has led you to, if you've done that? Is it live shows, the response you're getting from people with the different songs and saying, well, people are responding to this. Maybe we should change this up for when we record it again. Is any of that kind of thing happening?
Yeah, I think the main thing is after, like Coop said, they've been playing, me too, we've been playing these songs for quite a while. And after you play them for so long, you start finding out what works with this song, what doesn't work with this song. And like you said, what people react to, what they don't react to. Yeah, as we go into recording, me specifically, I do think about that. Like, okay, people like this part, so I'll do it here.
Okay.
And actually, and also over time, you get more comfortable playing the song. And so the song, like the back of your hand, so you could do different stuff on there. So, it's almost a never-ending progression.
Okay.
And so
exactly. We're just talking today. Matt the other day goes, you know what? Like, we shouldn't work on these recordings anymore. Like just work. Let's just go. We got 3 out. Like, let's just work on an album and like really, do it right. Like, we play the song so much better now anyway. And Josh, today we're listening to We're All Right, and on the way here, like, just listen to make sure it's mixed all right and everything. And he's like, man, I play this so much different now than. Or I play than it is on this recording.
And I'll play it different again next month.
We're gonna play it different every time. We're gonna have recordings, an album that we're like so happy with, and next year we're gonna be like, man, we played this so
right. Yeah. So
it's never.
You just gotta go with it. Yeah, it's tough. Everybody's their own worst critic.
I think lots of bands should do. Like the Chili Peppers do it. If you listen to their albums, then you listen to their live shows, especially when Frusciante was still in the band. Mm-hmm. They play it so different. They put like a different spin to it. So when you're listening to the recording, you have that. You go see them live. It's not just going to hear them play exactly what they recorded.
So is it something that you guys plan when you're doing a live show, or does something happen and then all of a sudden
it just
you got to follow each other?
Right now, lately, we don't even write set lists anymore.
We've been so in sync lately that we just
try to play, surprise ourselves. We'll just jam, be like, somebody will tease something from one song, and we're just like, yeah, we're going.
It's been working.
Right?
It's been working out pretty well lately.
And we'll just listen to the build up, kind of let Matt take control of like where it's going.
Yeah.
So
it's just fun.
Every show is different then.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. The core is the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? The core of the show is the same.
But if you go to a show and then see you guys a month later, you're going to see something different than that.
I can guarantee you're always going to hear something different.
Yeah,
we jam and we don't ever remember what we do when we play these.
I remember sometimes.
Like I said, sometimes we'll put something together, like even on stage during a show, and it'll turn out to be one of our songs later.
Okay, very cool.
Even if you saw us like one night, we played the next night, it's still going to be different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very cool. Speaking of your music, where can people find it to download it and listen to it so they can sort of get an idea what they're going to hear when they see you live?
You can find it.
Well, number one is www.thefunkyt.com. And that's got everything on it.
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah, on there you can get links to our Facebook, Twitter, Reverb Nation, and SoundCloud.
And YouTube.
And it also features a very funky logo made by Ethan's mom.
Oh.
Sherry Marcus.
Very
she plays a big role in the band.
Ethan, I got to tell you, it's also a first. We've never had anyone say that they wrote with their mom.
Yeah. Well, hey, my mom's been writing songs for a long time.
That's pretty cool.
She was a singer and a voice actor, forever wrote jingles, had a jingle company. Like I said, my dad's a jazz musician, singer, saxophone.
So they're your biggest fans?
Yeah, I mean, we get our parents out to
our parents
all the shows.
They're
cool.
always there.
Cool. That's cool. I think that's very cool.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
Brothers, stepsisters, everybody.
All the social media stuff, it's all at The Funky T Music. Facebook / The Funky T Music, Twitter.
Okay. Which you can also get just by going to
Or if you just go to our website,
thefunkyt.com.
Right
We'd rather everybody go to thefunkyt.com.
Okay, let's talk about shows since we were talking about how you guys are a band that you need to see more than once. Where can people see you?
Well, we play once a month at Casey's Alley in Ambler.
That's the last Friday of every month.
Last Friday of every month we play there, and it's free. So we play from 10 to 1. So we usually play 2 or 3 sets. So that's always a good way to come see us.
Pretty crazy.
Most bang for your buck, or no buck.
And also, we play as a house band there on Monday nights for the open mic, just with a different drummer. But yeah, I mean, that's a great success. A lot of people get out to that, and that's a great way for us to like promote our show there.
Sure.
But so our next upcoming one will be the last Friday of August.
Okay.
And then our big show in August 15th at the World Cafe downstairs
In Philadelphia.
in Philadelphia.
Right. World Cafe Live.
We've played there upstairs before,
Several times.
which is
7, 8
cool.
times.
but we're playing
This is
downstairs.
going to be really cool. Yeah, this is the biggest
Oh, I
stage
can't
we
wait.
have played on, and
Yeah.
we're excited about it.
Do you know what time you get started and all that?
We are still waiting on a couple more details
Yeah.
to be hashed out.
But
as
tickets
soon
are
as
going to be available on the website, on the World Cafe website, and
Right.
we'll definitely be posting links and stuff about
The
it.
second
selling
we know.
tickets.
All right. The second you know, tell us, and we'll get that on our
Second
site
we know, you
as
will.
well. Excellent. Now, this last song, Back to the Basics. Tell us about this song. When is this one of your earlier songs? A new song?
We'll let Coop take this. You can tell he wrote this. There's a little
You'll be able to tell, I
consistency
guess.
in the ones he writes. He writes the funkiest ones.
I guess this is middle, not early, not later.
Okay.
song. I wrote it. Me, Ethan, and Ethan's mom comes up once again. We saw Tower of Power and Average White Band at the Keswick Theater,
Right.
and it was awesome. I had never really listened to much Average White Band before that, and I got real influenced by them. I don't know, just the way they'll write like these cool riffs, and like the whole song is based around one phrase. And
Yeah.
they just groove on that for so long, and that's where the idea for that came along. And then Ethan's mom was also like, you should write a blues song. You guys would do pretty well with that. So this was me attempting to write a blues song. I don't know how it came
Blues,
out.
funk,
Yeah.
Blues funk.
blunk.
And then
Blunk.
Blunk. New
Sounds
genre.
like a dirty word.
Getting blunked up.
And then Les Claypool was another huge influence on me.
Sure.
So that probably, I think that got factored in there. And
Yeah,
it was like at a time I was trying to get a lot of jobs in film, and I was doing this internship that I hated. And I
Okay.
stopped doing it. And then at the time I was like, I need a job. So I was trying to get jobs doing stuff I did in high school.
So that's where the whole
So-
concept for back to basics.
Yeah, I guess so. And then it kind of just evolved
Yeah, and we
into
just-
like how I was
yeah.
feeling that day. I don't know.
And eventually it just becomes a jam.
And so now today, is that still what this song is?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. It just
We got the jobs. We don't know who we're working.
I like. I'll go on record for the people who I work with. I like my job.
We like our jobs. We only want to play music, but we like our jobs. We're happy to have them.
Excellent. So the website again before we head out.
www.thefunkytea.com.
Okay, and also World Cafe Live downstairs on August 15th.
August 15th. It's a
Philadelphia.
Thursday.
In Casey's, you said?
Yeah.
And Casey's
Last
Alley.
Friday of August.
In Ambler.
All right, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us, you guys.
Thank
Thank you for
Alrighty.
having us.
No problem. And before we get to the song, let me again remind you guys to download our free apps for iPhone and Android, because with those you can stream our radio station 24/7 from your phone, and also stay up to date with these bands like the Funky Tea. We have our concert calendar that's updated daily, as well as our news section, and also sign up for our newsletter, weekly newsletter. Email us, contact@yourlocalnote.com. We're going to close it out with the song Back to Basics. We've been talking with the Funky Tea on yourlocalnote.com.
I ain't got no cash, I ain't got no job. But all I got is this bluesy ass song. So I play my guitar with all my instinct. Got nowhere to go, so I just play and sing. I play and sing. See, I know what I want, but I don't know what to say. But music is my bond, so it don't matter anyway. So I just play this beat with both of my feet. Don't know what I'ma do. I'm gonna get in my groove. I'm bringing it back to the basics. Back to the basics. I'm not talking about the pink shit. Just back to the basics. Now I don't mean to front, I see no reason to fret. So I just take a puff of this, it makes me forget. It makes me feel good, but I still have my needs. Without the warmth of a woman, my heart still bleeds. So I play So just